What's good, Lakers Corner family, and welcome back to the Lakers Corner where we talk all things Lakers. As always, I'm your host, John. Very happy to be here. Today is Saturday, December 6th, and we got a great friend of mine in the building here, man. We got Joe Sorrell from the Experiment and the Lakers Fast Break. Joe, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Johnny?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. Happy to have you here. We got a lot to get into, man. We're gonna be recapping everything that happened here in week 6. And in the end, we're gonna be doing a fun little fill in the blank segment. Let's just start some great conversation. So let's just go ahead and get straight into it. We always start with the news and injury segment here. So let's start with, there is not too much for us to talk about this week in the news and injuries, but we do want to talk about Luka Doncic, how he, missed the December 4th game against the Raptors for the birth of his second daughter. Joe, I've heard both sides of that. So I've heard the come on, man, prioritize, your job and prioritize what's important. But I've also heard the other side. It's like, be there for your child, be there for your lady. Just real quick, Joe, we don't got to spend too much time on this. How do you feel about a situation like this?
Well, I gotta use a little bit of history on this one. I think I might have talked about this on the Lakers Fast Break a little bit, not much. There was and I know it's a different scenario in a way because it was a playoff scenario versus a regular season in December. But Rick Fox in 2000, right around playoff time, had to go to New York to see the birth of his child, and there was a time stamp on it in a way. There was time sensitivity to it, even though it was something personal. And I remember watching a documentary on it where Rick Fox discussed it and then Phil Jackson also discussed it. And you could tell Phil Jackson was trying to be supportive of the scenario and the situation, but Phil needed his ass over there as soon as the baby was born. And Rick Fox, without going into too much detail, because then that's a show in itself, said he had both Vanessa because he was married to Vanessa Williams at the time. Because he had to leave after the kid's birth, he pissed off Vanessa Williams, and then in turn had already pissed off Phil Jackson. He's like, "Where the hell are you? All right, the baby's born. Get your ass over here. We have a playoff game to play." So. When we talk about, I think as time goes on, I think we get more. I don't like using the word soft because sometimes that's not the right word in situations like that. But I think we start to extend things a little
Mhm.
too much. And I've had kids. I've been there for every birth, in the room. And kids don't really do much. It's really more the mother and the kid in a lot of ways with the closeness. Now society wants to keep the father involved, and I get that. They have time off for fathers and stuff like that. Look, the father doesn't have the breast, okay? He's not gonna feed the kid, right? And when the kids are born, they're sleeping for the first 3 months.
And
That's all they
crying
do.
and
Okay.
pooping.
And yeah. And I mean, if I really went in on all this, I'd probably piss off some women out there, but so I'm not. Um, my my kind of thought on it is he should have been there for Boston.
I agree.
I think there was enough time to have the kid. This is a man that makes what 50 million a year.
hmm
Uh,
There's no problem with getting a private jet. That's
yeah,
not a problem.
he can get a private jet, get over there quick, and play the game. But
Absolutely.
we live in a world where, in my view, I'd say I've probably knowingly been invested in three different generations in my adult or let's say awareness time.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that every single generation, things get more and more tolerable,
Mhm.
and I don't I don't like it for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there's some things that are like it's just sacrilege in how we just allow it to happen. But All in all, the short answer to that is, even though it wasn't a short answer, is I think Luka should have been there for the Boston game.
Yeah,
And respect for the kid being healthy and being born and being a part of that. But I'm just saying, I've been there, and the
yeah,
only thing is I'm not an NBA player. And the next day I went to work. Just
right.
saying,
Come on,
I went
come
to
on,
I literally went to work the next day,
come
and
on.
and it's not because I had to. It's because it's just like, well, what am I going to do sitting around? Oh,
Yeah,
well, you can help your wife. Oh, well, you can help. I'm like, well, help your wife with what? The kid's sleeping literally 20 hours during the day. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Yeah, yeah.
oh,
Like,
man.
what is she doing? Like, is she watching? Look, you're not gonna stare at the kid for 20 hours, right? Throughout the day.
Yeah,
You put the kid to bed, you have a baby monitor, and again, going back to the current, this isn't like 1840 where you had half the kids pass from sudden death, infant death syndrome because of shitty medical practices, right?
yeah,
So again, it's just I just eh, I just think he should have been there. And watching the game, I'm this is a different scenario if it was the Philadelphia 76ers, or if it was, let's say, I don't know, the Chicago Bulls. Maybe I would have been able to tolerate it a little bit more, but letting that piece of shit franchise just lay the freaking wood on you. I don't have
yeah.
that kind of I can't
Can't support that.
reconcile that. I just
Yeah,
can't. 24
I agree.
three-pointers. You guys basically let these guys eat you up, and because the excuse, I call it the excuse machine. The
Mhm.
excuse machine is a very scary machine because the machine feeds off anything, any little excuse, and then what happens is the more you keep feeding it little by little, like by little, it starts to become a big one.
Yeah,
It's no
no,
different than, and I'll correlate it with, let's say, everybody's daily grind, right? Everybody wants to go to the gym, wants to work out, wants to be in good shape, but most people aren't because they're not disciplined enough. And I've been here 100 times in my life. I'm not trying to front. I've been there. You want to be in good shape, you want to be able to do all that stuff, and then you also want to eat what you want. It's just not realistic. Even if you have good metabolism and all that, you still have to eat well and put in the work to achieve health, achieve the look you want. And then when you start making that excuse, well, I worked out 3 months really hard, that's the beginning of the end right there.
yeah,
Now, here you are. And with basketball, and this isn't just the NBA player, it's not just the owner, it's everyone has enabled these guys. And so much so that I'm watching games these days, and one guy will have his finger pricked with, just by randomly hitting something or whatever, a guy's leg, whatever. And it's in the fourth quarter, with like 11 minutes left, and they're up 12. And all of a sudden, you start seeing messages from these dumb shits. Hey, take him out of the game. We're up 12. Like, dude, shut up. How are you ever
I
going to
hear you.
harden yourself if you get scared the moment you see someone feel like they just got a little bit of an owie? It's like, that's the constant thing. And that's how it starts. Everything starts small. And then once it gets too big, then for a lot of things in life, you can't reel it back in anymore. You can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. It's over. Now you've
Yeah,
created this conditioning of, well, I'm having a kid and I can be out for a week.
that's ridiculous, brother.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, so I'm right there with you, brother. Yeah, long story short, I think that missing the game on the fourth against the Raptors is, I guess, somewhat acceptable. Whatever it is, what it is, not a playoff game, but absolutely shouldn't have missed the following game. Makes too much money. Could have hopped on a private jet to make that game, especially against, like how you said, the bad guys and the green turds. But let's keep it pushing though here, Joe, and let's get to the game recaps and takeaways here from the week. So we're going to be recapping 3 games: the Suns, the Raptors, and the Celtics. Let's first start with the Suns game that was on December 1st. We lost 125-108. Another great Lukadoncic dominant game. He had 38 points. He had 20 of those 38 in the first quarter until we collapsed late in that second quarter. Suns went on a 19-4 run. We never got back into this game. And then the whole, ordeal with LeBron going after his streak. That game, to be honest with you, Joe, that game really pissed me off because we had Lukadoncic show up. We had Lukadoncic be there, right? But then we collapsed defensively at the end of that second quarter, and we never got back into it, Joe. And then I know we already spoke on this a bit on the post game show, but LeBron, when we're losing, right? We're losing. This game is clearly over. JJ has clearly put up the white flag, but LeBron is still out there worrying about a scoring streak. That game, personally, and you know how I feel about LeBron James, and everybody that's watching here, y'all know how I feel about LeBron. But that game really rubbed me the wrong way. Now we'll talk about the next game here in a second, but just wanted to get your thoughts to see if you had anything to say here on that Suns game.
The habits this year, even with the winning, has been when they're punched in the mouth, they seem to give up. That's a bad look. Anytime they get punched, they give up, and it goes back to the excuse machine again. This mentality in the NBA is we gotta rest. We gotta rest. And I was disappointed that the NBA, and this is just like you have a Lakers Celtic game, and this is a time when the Celtics and the Lakers are playing well, and yet it's sitting on an end of a back-to-back. In December on like nothing prime. I mean, I know they were on prime, but it wasn't like a marketed game. And I'm going back to I'm thinking to myself while I'm watching that horrendous game last night, I'm going, why wasn't this a game that they pushed to have?
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. I'll get to more of that later to answer your question with Phoenix, because they correlate together. The 2 games that they've lost in the last 3 games has been they're getting punched in the mouth and they quit. And it's a microcosm of this how this league kind of operates. And the only reason why Oklahoma City is not quitting or losing is because Sam Presti put together a 10-man rotation where 4 of the people off the bench could be starters in half the league.
Yeah.
That's just how that played out, because you had them imbecile working in LA that sent them everything. They basically sent the Herschel Walker trade. If anybody remembers the Herschel Walker trade, the Dallas Cowboys traded Herschel Walker to Minnesota for pretty much 4 first-round picks and then some players. But in the long run, what it did was it gave Jimmy Johnson at that time and Jerry Jones, before he started screwing things up, the ability to have two drafts in 4 years in the first round, especially. You had the imagine hitting on every one. Imagine hitting basically on all of your first round picks, and then somebody gives you a second set of first round picks and you hit on all of those. It's like you basically were able to turn around within 2 years. Mind you, this team was 1-15 in 1988, and then they're winning a Super Bowl 4 years later. That's, at that time, football didn't operate like that. When you were 1-15, you sucked for a very long time. So you have, other than Oklahoma City, you have these teams who are just battling the ability to keep people on the court for health reasons or not. And mind you, these guys are not in their early 30s and late 30s. This is guys that are in their mid 20s. And no one seems to be adapting to the rigors of the NBA, which is why they're having all these lower leg problems. Well, there's always a solution to these type of things. We have billions and billions of dollars in this thing, yet they're not really putting any money into that. And this is just a line of just constant nonsense. People too lazy to kind of figure out what they want to do, and then this is the result. The result is we are constantly in this mode of who's playing the next game, and it's our fault for watching the product.
Mhm.
It's a horrible product.
That's
Now,
right.
that the problem is the Toronto game was a great product. I enjoyed every minute of that game. It was back and forth. It was people playing hard, but you only get that maybe once a week now. You don't get that game in and game out, and that's the tough part. You don't know what to do. Well, I just saw a really good game. Everybody played well, but then the next game, you have
Everybody's
guys that can't
sluggish.
hit a shot to save their life, and they're not guarding anybody. I'm like, I'm sitting there watching the game last time, going, well, if you're gonna suck ass at shooting all night, how about you play some defense?
Right. Do other
Half of
things.
defense is desire. Half of defense is desire, and
Absolutely. No.
it just at some point, to kind of tail into what you were saying about LeBron and him fraternizing with the other people. What I got out of that was I liked seeing JJ react to it
Yep.
because I think that's who he is. And LeBron doing what he did is not a surprise. It's gotten to the point where I don't really get surprised by what LeBron does. And I've said this several times, and it's not just me, folks. It's not just some old guy trying to hold on to the past. And by the way, that's not even me. That's just something that's been bestowed on me, right? I gotta
Uh,
be. I
old guy?
gotta. Apparently, I gotta adapt to mumble rap because I'm old, right? I'm like, dude, listen,
Uh,
I'm not gonna like something because it's now. I go, it's shit. This isn't. You're not looking at classic rock fans listening to Nirvana. Nirvana had good music, okay? Even though it was grunge and it wasn't really my thing, I always use Nirvana and Harry Potter as an example of when quality is there,
mhm.
I'm not going to diss quality, even though the product isn't something I like. Grunge isn't my music. Alternative music isn't really my thing, but they make, Nirvana was really good. Harry Potter was a great film franchise. I'm not into wizards and elves and dancing around and with sparklers. Like, that's not what I like watching. But when I watched Harry Potter 1 through 8, I'm like, damn, this movie and this story is amazing. So appreciating past, present, future is part of my DNA. Doesn't matter if I like the particular genre or not. And to me, I like to keep it simple with sports. How about this, LeBron? You're supposed to be this leader, yet you're giggling, getting your ass whooped by a team that, other than the Celtics, and this is part of the thing with me, having a good memory with this stuff is sometimes not a good thing. Because other than the Celtics, no one has beaten the Lakers more in prime time playoffs than Phoenix. They've beaten
Yeah.
them in 5 series in the playoffs. That's second most ever to the Lakers. Not the Spurs, not the Blazers, not those prominent teams that you think that would be there because they've played them so much. No, the Phoenix Suns have beaten the Lakers in the history of NBA basketball 5 times, second most behind the Celtics. So there's a competitiveness that's always burning. And even for fans, it's like that. Even for me, I mean, I try to incorporate everything I feel in sports to my regular life. I can't play in the NBA, I can't play in the NFL, but I use the same tools. Make sure your stuff's on point. Make sure you're trained. Make sure you're there to communicate. Make sure there's good teamwork. It does play a part because I got hit with, well, what titles have you won? And I had to unleash on a guy. I said, listen, motherfucker. Okay, you know damn well I'm not playing in the NBA or in the NFL. Asking that stupid ass question is just trying to deflect from what I'm saying. I said,
Yeah.
I know I'm not. I know I'm not winning the titles, but I'm winning the titles in my own game.
Come
I
on
can't
now,
win it
Joe.
in the NBA. It wasn't good enough. So going with what my reaction was at the end, I'm so used to LeBron being that guy, and then right away he makes that pass for the game-winning shot, and
Let's get to
everyone
that.
is kissing his ass again.
Let's get to that. Let's
Like,
get to that. So look,
yeah,
so the next game, right? We have Lakers versus Raptors. We end up getting the win. Again, no Luka, which we already talked about. AR stepped up in his presence to 44 points. He got 37 points off the bench. Rui hits the game winner. LeBron's streak is over, right? And I think you gave us a great transition, right? And honestly, to be real with you, Joe, I'm glad it's over because I think it was somewhat of like a distraction, somewhat looming in whether his mind or JJ's mind in them. But the one thing I do want to say though, Joe, and I mean, we've been now talking Lakers like every game for the past like 3, 4 seasons now. So you know that I like LeBron, but you also know that I'm fair and I criticize LeBron when it needs to be criticized, which is exactly what I just did when we were talking about the Suns game. I did this in the post game stream, but for the Raptors game, the only thing that I want though is I want everybody to keep that same energy that they had criticizing LeBron to give him his flowers because there's times when he deserves his flowers. And again, I've said this so many times, 9 times out of 10, to be honest with you, LeBron James is going to make the right play. Now, if you're going to look at the last 6 games when the man's 40, about to be 41, maybe not. But throughout his last 20 plus years in the league, 9 times out of 10, LeBron makes the right play. And the reason why I want everyone to give him flowers the same way they criticized him is because I like being fair. When he deserves to be criticized, is criticize him. But when he deserves to get his flowers, because literally, like people could think I'm overreacting, but I'm naming this thing the sacrificial pass. He could have absolutely gone for that layup or gone for the dunk, and even if he missed, game goes to overtime. He gets his 10 points in overtime. All good. Streak keeps going. But he ends up not only swinging the ball, but making the right pass, bro. Like if you play basketball, you know that that was the right pass. Defense rotated over. He hit the shooter in the corner, and we won the game, gave up his streak, and won the game. So, me personally, anything that he did in that Suns game, as far as like trying to go for that streak, the whole like laughing with the other team, that's some bullshit. That pissed me off. But as far as him going for that streak in that Suns game, I personally forgave all of it because of what he did there in that Raptors game, and because he was really looking to move the ball, right? Like that's another thing is that like throughout LeBron's career, every single team that he's been on, it's been beneficial for the team for LeBron to go be a scoring menace, for LeBron to go score. But I think this is the first year in his career where sometimes it's actually of more benefit to the team if LeBron plays more off the ball. If LeBron worries about playing more defense, if LeBron worries about playing more in that, slasher, roller cut, roller roll instead of trying to be on ball and making decisions, because we got 2 players that can be on ball making decisions. So I just wanted to talk about that because I think you transitioned us great to the Raptors game, but I don't know if you want to give me your thoughts on, the Raptors game and all that.
they use the term polarizing when they describe someone who's, it's kind of like good and bad, the polarized athlete, and I would say LeBron is the most polarizing mega GOAT, arguable GOAT I've ever seen. Used to be Kareem, because Kareem was the angry establishment guy. Like he hated the establishment because of, social relations and race stuff back in the 60s and stuff like that. And he alienated himself to the point where he never got any opportunity to ever really get a real chance to coach when he wanted to, which I'm always suspect of great players coaching. The only one that I saw, the only great coach I saw in my lifetime that did well, but even him, he didn't really make it that long, was Larry Bird. Larry Bird even knew, like, he would not have taken over a young team. He took over a very veteran type team with Indiana and was very close to winning a championship with that team. But even he knew he had a timeline. Like he didn't have, I don't think he has the patience. Great players, all-time great players, don't have patience for petulance. And when you look at LeBron polarizing, I mean, you can say even add in a bipolarized player. He's the most bipolar player I've ever seen, in that he'll make you elate. He'll give you elation one moment, and then you'll want to wring his neck the next moment, because he's just not. He is not the steady. He's not the steady, like, testosterone that I've grown up seeing in that guy. You look at guys like Michael, Kobe, Tiger Woods. I'm going to use guys that have. I always try to use the guys that we saw growing up from, like, let's say the 90s and on, because I can't sit there and tell you I saw Magic in his prime. I didn't. I saw Magic at the end of his prime. Kareem, the same thing. Worthy, in a lot of ways, the same thing. So the only guys I can use in terms of greatness is the guys that I know I've watched. Guys like Tiger, guys like Michael, guys like Kobe. These guys were ferocious. And when you grow up with that, you don't know how to react to anything else beyond that. And unfortunately, the results haven't really been the same anyways. LeBron has done great in terms of numbers, but I can't. I was figuring out in my own head, and then I saw something with one of the popular radio shows. His name's Jim Rome. I used to listen to him back in the day when I moved to Southern California, and he had mentioned that was a useless stat, like a useless statistic, like a nothing stat. Like, why are we talking about a double-digit scoring stat? Like, who gives a shit? What is that going to do?
Which
And
is
he was
why I'm
right.
glad it
And
was over.
I always had that in the back of my mind. Like, is it that boring right now that we're talking about a 10-point a game streak? Why is that even a discussion? Is it that boring?
Yeah.
And then we go wax poetic with, oh my God, he passed away. He passed the chance to get it. Like, what the hell? Okay, so he doesn't. So he does get it. What would that have done? My excitement for the game was, you just hit a
Game winner.
game-winning three. And for me, I'm looking at it. Go ahead, John.
No, I was just gonna say, but yes, but the only thing I want to say is, like, Rui wouldn't have got that game winner if he wouldn't have been from that great pass.
But here's the thing. If you've been watching the games lately, LeBron hasn't been making that pass.
Agreed.
Now, call me naive. I think LeBron passed it to him because he was wide open. How could he not? Everybody collapsed. If you watch how the paint looked, everybody collapsed except maybe Brandon Ingram all the way through. But he had shaded to, like, okay, LeBron's coming to the basket, because it was a tie game. Mm-hmm. And what do I always say on LFB? LeBron to the basket is the surest thing in sports, even at his old age. You can't. How can you not depend on or say that a man that's 6'8" with power, size, and speed going to the basket isn't the best option for you? Again, a jump shot is still not as sure as a LeBron going to the basket. Even Kareem with his hook shot, he's still shooting it from 12 feet.
Yep. So
LeBron to the basket, I am sure that they thought he was coming to the basket because he had been doing that lately, which is something I had been begging him to do for his entire Laker career when he wouldn't. And then the last year or so, he has been taking that shot. But Rui was so wide open, he goes, I cannot not pass him. Oh, and by the way, it's in the area where Rui doesn't miss. Yes. So I don't think it had anything to do with LeBron doing the quote-unquote right thing in terms of the LeBron right thing. He did what you should have done no matter who it is.
the right play, but that's the thing though. He made the right play. The right play is to swing the rock, which to your point, and what I say as well too. LeBron puts his head down. He's either getting to the line or he's gonna hit a layup. He could have easily either got to the line or hit a layup, but he swung the ball. You're right. It has nothing to do with the 10-point streak, but it does have to do with the fact that he made the right play, and the right play led to a win. So like if he would have made the right play and it led to us losing, like I would have been pissed if we still are talking about the streak. But I think it's the fact that it's the right play that literally got us a win, because the winning is all that matters, right? The streak doesn't matter. We don't give a fuck about the streak. We care about winning. And in that pass, he made the right play, and in turn fucked over his streak, showing everyone that, hey, I don't give a fuck about the streak, as you shouldn't give a fuck about the streak, because what only matters is winning. That's my
I
only
don't
thing.
know
I just think he
why.
made the right play.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't know why it's not discussed that 4 for 17 from the field had a lot more to do with it than that play. I think it's a
Like him
false
being
narrative.
four for 17.
I think it's a fantasy made up scenario. I watched that game and I watched that play several times. LeBron didn't make the right play because LeBron, quote unquote, makes the right play. LeBron made that play because it was blatantly the right play.
But you know how
Anyone
many
who
players
had,
would have went up with that
if
though,
it
Joe?
wasn't LeBron, with the ball, anyone who controlled that ball should have made that pass. He made the pass because the defense told him, listen, you are not going to get a layup. You're not going to get a layup. Oh,
Joe,
shit. You're not going to give me a layup? All right. Rui is wide open in his spot. It's a tie game. I'm sorry. And you might know this. A tie game is different than being down and making a last second shot. The pressure is
different
completely
pressure.
different. It's just like in football when if it's a tie game and it's a 50-yard field goal for a kicker, the kicker is not going to be as taxed. He's like, okay, if I miss the shot, we're still okay. We're still in the game. We got to go to overtime, whatever. It's a much different shot. It's a much different kick, right?
Mm-hmm.
So more than this narrative that has been pulled out of somebody's ass about him making the right play, it has nothing to do with LeBron making the right play. LeBron made the play because the defense said, you're not going to the hoop. And he said, all right.
So what did he do? He made the
But I've
right
seen
play.
here.
The wrong play would have been going to the hoop. So he made the right play.
The thing is, so this is where it's different for LeBron than anybody else. Okay. When you talk about the right play, that is a stupid line. I can't stand that. The right play when you're an all-time great, making a last-second shot for a win, is making the basket.
Joe,
not passing to the wide open guy.
I got something for you. You might not like this, but I'm gonna be honest with you, and I can only speak on Kobe here. Okay, you can tell me how you feel about Michael Jordan, because again, like, wasn't really watching that much, but I did watch Kobe. I watched literally damn near all of Kobe. Okay, I know Kobe Bryant, Joe, and for what you know Kobe Bryant as well, I think we can both agree Kobe would have took that motherfucking shot regardless, because Kobe believes, yo, me shooting is the best possible outcome, has the best chance of the ball going in. Whether Kobe was double team, triple team, Kobe is shooting that. And this is not a knock on Kobe. This is the player that he is. He is I'm foot down your fucking throat and I'm gonna kill you myself. I don't even need other people. But so I'm just being real with you. In my opinion, 9 times out of 10, Kobe Bryant is going up for that because of the player who he is. Now, LeBron making the right pass, again, nothing to do with the streak, but at the end of the day, it still is the right pass and it still needs to be credited. And we can agree to disagree on this one, but I think that,
I'm not going to disagree, but there's layers to this, and that's the whole point. Is I try to talk within context. Context, every scenario in a lot of ways is different than the other one. So I'm going to tell you a little history here lesson, and you can learn something here a little bit. Kobe has some of the most epic Laker wins by passing the ball at the last second. I'm gonna give you 3 of them because I'm not gonna give you all of them. I'm gonna give you 3 specific ones so that you can You could put this in your memory bank whenever you
But
talk
hold
about
on though,
Kobe.
Joe. I'm right there with you though. I know I've watched all this and I know all this. But you and me both know Kobe. He's shooting that mask. He's himself
Right,
said it.
but that's not always true though. Okay, and I'm going to give you 3 scenarios, and there were big moments. Okay, so 2002, Lakers are in Portland. They're up 2-0 in Portland. They need to sweep Portland to. At that time, they were playing a 5-game series in the NBA. Right, that was the last
The
year.
lob. Yep.
So Portland looked like they were going to win that game. Turns out Lakers make a little run at the end, and then Lakers have a chance to take the last shot, or at least not a buzzer beater, but the last shot to possibly take the lead, and they do. Why? Kobe draws the second player. He sees Ori in the corner, throws it to Ori. Ori hits the 3. Lakers win. They sweep Portland. Done. Number 2. Before then, you have, I don't know what it is about Portland, but in 2000, you had, I should have started with 2000, but that was the first thing that came to my mind because it was that was when I scratched my head. Remember I told you the story? I scratched my head. I jumped so high that I hit the popcorn ceiling.
Yeah.
Before then, it was 2000. They're in Portland again, and Kobe finds Ron Harper in the corner, in almost like the dunker spot. He hits the 16-footer. Lakers win. That's done. The one that you probably would remember, I don't know if you were kind of young still, but 2009, the Lakers were in Orlando, and it was another game where the Lakers should have lost that game, but Dwight Howard couldn't hit free throws. But then what happens is they go into overtime. Kobe draws the second guy. He actually sort of did an offensive foul. I think he hit somebody in the face, and then threw the ball to Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher hits basically the game-winning 3. So it's not entirely true that the Kobe's and the MJs always took the last shot. If they trusted you, they give you the ball.
Yes, but look, I'm not saying every single
LeBron.
time.
First of all, LeBron, and I'll tell you the one play that is famous in terms of Laker lore is what I couldn't figure out is why did he drive and then reverse back, throw the ball to Danny Green in Game 5 in the finals? That was a dumb play. You had all your momentum going forward. You're the finals MVP at that point. Yet you stop, you turn around, and that's just one of the times that I've seen things like that. Like he went out of his way to do the right play. It's a difference. It's like, to me, I think it's a bullshit way of describing that he was not wanting to take the shot.
Oh, Joe, stop, Joe. I'm gonna be honest, brother. You sound like a crazy LeBron hater right now. LeBron just made the right play in that moment. And to your point about Kobe, I damn near have seen all of those moments.
Not the right moment.
But but the moments about Kobe, like the only thing I'm trying to say is like I'm not saying Kobe every single time shot the ball, but more times than not, he shot that motherfucker, and we both know that. And then what I'm saying is that in that moment, a player alpha is taking that shot. So I'm just saying, let's just just give the man his credit for just making the right play. It's as simple as that. Fuck the streak. It was the right play.
No.
Even if it
You're
was the
not
first.
listening to me. You're not listening to me. I didn't say he didn't make the
Likewise.
right play. I emphasized that he made the right play because he had a scenario that was every scenario is different. Okay. Are you gonna give let's be real here. If that's Jackson Hayes, is he passing the ball to him?
Fuck, that's a
No.
dumb pass. That's a dumb
And
pass.
now Jackson Hayes is wide open, right?
That's not the right play,
open.
though.
Okay.
If that's Jackson Hayes,
That
that's
would
not the
not
right
have been
play.
the right play. Under the offense, hey, find the open man. That's the quote unquote right play. No. I am sure of it. Okay. He read the defense. He said these guys just went into drop coverage basically under the rim. Okay. They're not going to let him hit they're not going to let him. And this is 23-year LeBron. LeBron's legs aren't under him. He ain't going to go dunk over everybody like he would have 10 years ago. So LeBron was about to make a move. You could see it. I watched it. He said, "Oh," in an instant, and he had a dart. I don't think he got enough credit at how fucking perfect the pass was, which there's no argument there. LeBron's passing in terms of timing is like the only one maybe that's ever been better is Magic. That's it. But then it's LeBron. Like he's just that good, right? Because if he doesn't throw that ball with that speed right in the freaking breadbasket. Brandon Ingram blocks that shot.
Yep.
I mean, he was right there. Brandon Ingram's got arms like Inspector Gadget. So we have to admire the play, not the story of LeBron. This is the thing that bothers me about this, because the story changes every game, and I'm tired of it. Enjoy the play. Enjoy that LeBron read the defense. You can watch it. This is not basketball is not a complicated sport. The most complicating part about basketball is dealing with people, the egos of the basketball player, right? That's it. There's so many great coaches out there, but they don't have a chance to do good things because players are freaking crazy, especially basketball players. So the beauty of that play is that you had a player basically take what the defense gave him, and he said, you're basically putting me in a position to make the perfect decision. Mm-hmm. Even if Rui had missed that shot, that was the right call.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if he made it. He made it, and that's great. Because what are you going to tell me? What are you going to tell me? You want a 23-year LeBron trying to dunk over 3 guys?
Yeah, we don't want that.
It's just not realistic. I swear to God, I would not have been on the show that night and said, mm-hmm. Oh my God, I can't believe he didn't take a shot. First of all, he couldn't make a shot to save his life. So I'm not expecting him to pull up and hit a 22-footer or a 20-footer. I think I would have cringed. So it's different. You have to factor in the moment. That's the problem, I think, with a lot of people, is they keep correlating everything with something. And every scenario is different. You know, you get into a fight with your boy, and now you guys aren't happy. And just like what you just did right now, like you called me a LeBron hater. I'm a LeBron hater when he does stupid shit.
Likewise. Okay. You heard me on the Suns game.
Now, society lately has been, as soon as you go off the rails on somebody, oh, you're 100% a hater of this person. No, you idiot. Don't you have family members that piss you off? You're still married to them. You're still their sibling. You're still their son, their daughter, whatever. It's like, you guys all act, not you, like I'm talking in general, like people act like you got to like something all the way with someone for you to like them. No, that's bullshit. You think people in my family and my friends like everything I do? Dude, they hate 90% of the shit I do. But the 10% that I do, they're able to get a benefit from it. Why? Because anybody gets close, who do they send?
Yep.
Who do they send? They send the psychopath, because they don't want to deal with it. And that's a fact, by the way. I'm not trying to pump myself up here. I'm not trying to gas myself up. It's not, some people are not wired for the action. Yeah, we have this issue in politics. You know, there's things that certain people do that sucks ass, but then you look at the bigger picture, man, they really solved this thing that I think is more important, but they're idiots over here. Mm-hmm. But what I got to take what I can get. And that's life. We got to take what we can get. We're not going to get Kobe anymore. We're not going to get Magic. We're not going to get MJ. We have to sit here and wait for people to have babies for a week before they can get back to playing basketball. And we have to wait for LeBron to decide on whether he wants to be a dick one game and then do normal things the next game.
Shit is crazy, Joe. That shit is crazy. Well, I could get with that. I think that's a good way for us to like wrap up the game segment here. I could get with that. Like people have to always correlate it to LeBron. It was just a moment. It was just the right pass. It doesn't matter if it was freaking Brian Scalabrine out there. If he would have made that right pass, then we would have been like, hey, all praise Brian Scalabrine. Great job.
Well, so just to put that scenario that I told you about in Game 5 of the Finals, Danny Green was struggling the entire series. Mm-hmm. My issue with that decision was you're giving the ball to this guy and you're LeBron James. This isn't Austinreeves passing to him. This is LeBron James. You're not even like a James Harden or a Derrick Rose. Look, even those guys that beat MVPs, you're LeBron James. You're the best player of your generation. Yeah. And it's not even close in my book. Like, I'm sorry, Steph Curry is great, but you know me, you know, I've said this a
Yeah,
few times. There has never, from what I've seen, LeBron has never been second to anyone in his when he at his peak. No one.
I
He
agree.
Durant, Steph, Derrick Rose, none of those guys.
I agree.
LeBron is the guy. He has a different standard, especially when you're in the GOAT decision. Steph Curry will never be in the GOAT decision other than in shooting, which doesn't count. That's just a singular stat.
Thank you.
Durant
Thank
will
you.
never be in the GOAT decision. You have really, honestly, in the last 35 years, you've only had 3 guys that have been in the GOAT decision. If you want to put in Magic in there in 91 too, that's fine, but it was kind of short-lived. But it was Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron. That's it.
Yes.
Those are the
Thank you,
only 3
bro.
that I've seen that have been in the GOAT decision. And centers, with all due respect to centers, guys, I'm sorry. Centers to me are like pitchers in baseball. It's impossible for any pitcher, any center to be the greatest of all time. The reason why I say that is because centers cannot control the game. They
Yes.
have to be given the ball.
Yes.
Now, Jokic is definitely trying to kind of rewrite
Challenge that.
that, but Jokic still doesn't bring the ball up. Like he can't,
Initiate
crossover
the
into the
offense.
basket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's
Absolutely.
got to be some assistance there for them to do what they do. Again, it's a different position. It's a different way of playing basketball. To me, you can't just go drop. All right, give the ball to Kareem. Go do your thing like you would be able to do with Kobe, with Jordan, or LeBron. So
Yeah.
LeBron is held to a different standard because that's a standard that his game has solidified. And if you're going to call yourself the best ever yourself, then the
Damn
right
well
play
better.
is
Yeah.
the right play. Sorry, bud. The right play is getting that motherfucking ball in the basket. Now, if the guy makes the shot when you give it to him, cool. But if he doesn't, now
That's
it's
on
on
you.
you still.
Yeah. That's on
No,
you because
if
that's the
if if
pressure you take on.
yeah, if Michael passes to Steve Kerr and he clanks it, they're gonna be like, "What the
On
fuck are you
Michael.
doing?
Yep. 100%.
Why did you give the ball to John Paxson? Why the hell did you
100%.
give the ball to Derek Fisher, Kobe? I thought you were the Black Mamba.
All right. No, real shit. Real
Your
shit.
shit is only gonna matter if the ball is in the hoop. The reason why it's the right play when you're an all-time great is because the ball went into the basket.
And you
And
won the
in this
game,
game,
Joe.
sports is an unfair, hedonistic game. When you do it right, you're a genius. When you do it wrong, whether it's your fault or not, you're the leader. You're the GOAT.
Yeah. You got to take that. You
You
absolutely
have
have
to
to
take
take
it.
that.
And
Absolutely.
and, and to correlate it with life, and I've said this for years, I said, if my kids turn out to be bad kids, even if they grew up in a good home and they, all that stuff, and they grow up to be bums, that's still my fault.
Yeah.
That's the responsibility you have to take as a human being.
As a leader.
So it's just what it
100%.
is. And if you don't, then you're going to be sitting there making excuses for everything else in your life.
100%, brother. 100%. And then let's real quick, let's just get through the Celtics game, and then we can get to the fill in the blank. Celtics game, there really isn't much to say here, brother. We got embarrassed. The Celtics shot 24 threes, made 24 threes actually, a season high so far. Austinreeves, he looked extremely tired. To be real with you, we only put together a run in that third quarter, kind of because of Austinreeves and his 16 points. But then we dug ourselves in such a deep hole in that first half, and then we came out in that scoring job in the fourth quarter and ended up losing this game. I don't really have much to touch on this game. The only thing I want to touch on is I feel like Austinreeves is way too young to be looking this tired on a second night of a back-to-back. Don't get me wrong. They are playing elite basketball players, the best talent in the world. I can't even imagine, right? Can't even imagine. But Austinreeves is way too young to be looking this exhausted. He looked like he had no legs and he was exhausted in the first half of that game last night. And I just think he's too young. It's not that crazy of an ask. And to tie it back to what you were mentioning earlier, Joe, about everybody just being so soft, I don't think it's that crazy of an ask to ask anyone from like 20 years old to like 33. I don't think it's that crazy of an ask to ask you to play 2 back-to-back games because you're not playing all 48 minutes anyway. So that's kind of how I
Well,
feel. That's the only thing I want to touch on that.
I think there's a few scenarios in that thought on why, and what. I think you have to look at, first of all, his game. You have to look at
Mhm.
his athleticism, and then you have to probably obviously look at his rejuvenation tactics in between games. I'm gonna guess that Austin puts in the work, but he probably doesn't. It's not maniacal in any way. Austin is not overly athletic, and being really athletic will cover a lot of ground for you. You're not having to spend so much energy to get to a spot to get your jump shot off, and then on top of that, you have him basically uh, being the only guy that's able to be effective for 48 minutes in a game. He's the one that's handling the ball, trying to get through screens, trying to get through double teams, trying to get to the basket, trying to make shots, whereas everyone else is clanking him left and right. There is a psychological fatigue that starts with that in a lot of ways. So there's a lot to that. That there is that mentality too. I don't think Austinreeves is a punk by any means, but uh, when you think about a guy that's ready to go, I remember, and I'm trying not to use Kobe and Jordan, these guys, as an example, because that's not fair, really. Those guys are not human.
Yeah.
But in '06, uh, I heard interviews of Kobe saying, when '06 hit, he said he could run all day. It didn't matter what it was. He could play 48 minutes a game if he had to. He could run all day. That's the prep he made. And I believe that the money that these guys are making also has hampered their true will to go to the next phase of training in this erratic style of play. You have to adjust. So if you look at basketball in the 50s and 60s, all the guys looked like they were kind of strolling playing basketball, right?
Mhm.
Well, their recovery and their rehab is going to be different than the guys that were jumping out the building in the 70s, let's say, right? So now you have to do other things to combat that. You had Dr. J jumping out of the building, right? You don't think you really think Dr. J was doing his prep the same way as George Mikan was in the 50s? No.
No.
He's a springboard. He's more apt to getting injured because he's up in the air half the time, right? And then you go to the 80s and the 90s, it's the same thing, medicine and rehab and the machines. I don't believe that any of these players, the majority of them, except for maybe Mikal Bridges, I don't know, maybe he's just built different, but none of these guys, I don't think, have adapted to the next level of recovery. And a lot of them don't really care, probably, because if you look at the salaries in the 70s and 80s, they're nowhere near what they are now. The difference between making 30 million and 3 million is a
It's
lot,
a
guys. You
lot.
think that 3 million is a lot of money even in the 80s. It's not. You're still paying taxes on half that shit. You have agents, you have managers, you have mortgages, you have a bunch of freaking leeches all over you. So the guys weren't making that much money. Jordan was still making more money off the court.
Mhm.
Now these players are making marginal players, not even good players, are making 20 million a year.
Crazy, huh?
You want these guys to get out of Toronto and go prepare for Boston? Doing what? No, they're getting in that plane because they're constantly being told by the excuse machine, oh, well, you played really hard tonight.
It's
Oh, it's a
okay.
back to back. Oh, you should rest. No, it's
Fuck that.
each generation of human existence, because of technology, because of the softness that we adapt to, will continue to create a more just wussy like existence.
Man.
That's all it is. It's an
Man,
excuse.
Joe.
Somebody. I told you, man. Somebody gets their finger hit on a knee. I mean, shit. Forget about that. How about DeAndre Ayton? DeAndre Ayton bumps knees. It's on camera. He bumps knees with another guy's knee, and it's like it was like a fire. It's like a freaking brush fire. Oh, get him out of the game. Oh my God. He's gonna miss a week. Relax. It's
Relax,
a bump
everybody.
knee. You've never bumped knees with somebody? I bumped the
Yeah.
knee with the wall. I couldn't move for like 5 minutes.
And then you were good.
And then I was
Right?
fine.
Come
Jesus
on, y'all.
Christ. Like, relax.
Yeah. No, I agree, Joe.
I bet you those same people are always sitting there bitching and whining about other guys. I'm like, dude, you guys are the problem. You don't listen to yourselves. You
Yeah.
think these guys shouldn't play with any pain?
That's crazy.
How
That's crazy. You got to pay
are
for
you
them.
going to how are you going to test your mettle if you can't play with a little bit of hell, just a little bit of adversity?
No pain, no gain, Joe. No pain, no gain, brother. We know that. We know how that goes. But all right, brother, let's get to the last segment here of the show, which is the fill in the blank. And the fill in the blank, I got a couple fill in the blank statements here for you, and then we can kind of go from there. See if we need some conversation spark up, or if not, then we keep it pushing. But first fill in the blank statement I have here for you, brother, is LeBron James' best role on this team is
Best role?
yeah, like what, like where do you want is his role like best benefit and most beneficial for the Lakers? Like
Are
in
you talking about his
like on the ball, do
gameplay
you want
or
him
where he should be in the hierarchy?
just sure, give me both. Give me gameplay and then where you feel
LeBron
like he
needs
should
to
be now.
be, if the Lakers have any chance at winning the championship, LeBron has to be the second best player on this team.
Okay.
There is no margin of error on that, not even a little bit. And it can't be one game here. No. Austinreeves, God bless him. I love him. He's great, homegrown talent, all that stuff. He will get exposed if he's the second option. Hell, he's going to get exposed as a third option. That's why I've always said Austin, in my view, is the perfect sixth man, fourth best player on a championship team.
Yes.
And the reason why I say four in these days is because it's been difficult to get two megastars on the same team, especially with the new setup, with the new CBA.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is you need to have. So let's use Oklahoma City as an example. They have Chet Holmgren and they have Jalen Williams, right?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine Holmgren and Jalen Williams with Luka, right? That those two guys are in a championship team are more valuable than Austin is. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true because Jalen Williams can score and he can shut your ass down, and Chet can hit shots, modern day center, and block your shit out.
Yep.
Those guys have more value in that in today's game to win, and they've already proven it. And then you
Yep.
have Austinreeves basically. What I feel is Austinreeves coming off the bench was always about him just absolutely smoking second teams every game. Dude, that guy would win sixth man of the year
Quick.
every freaking year. Like he would own it, right? But if you want to make him the fourth guy, yeah, sure, absolutely, he'll kill you because he'll spell Luka. He'll make a shot, a 3-point shot when you need it. He's definitely got that going, right? It's a consistent thing. But that's how I look at it. So LeBron. For this team, if this team doesn't add anything to it, LeBron has to be the second best player on the team. And I'm talking, he needs to be
LeBron.
LeBron. Yeah,
LeBron,
LeBron
yeah.
at least. He needs to be LeBron at least from
2020. Like that Bron, to be honest with
that
you.
probably
And
won't
even
happen, but let's say LeBron 2023
okay.
when he
Okay.
was healthy.
When he was healthy. Okay.
When he
I'm
was
gonna be
healthy.
honest. Since 2020, I feel like it's been like he'll have like his one games that are like crazy, but I feel like it's more been a little bit just downhill. And I feel like this season is like the
Well, I
first
think
time
the
we're
reason why
really seeing
2020 was I think the reason why 2020 was so good was I believe he had really had the first time in a while where he had
a break.
Well, he had a big that could just lessen the
Oh,
load a little
okay.
bit for
I
him.
thought you were
Not
gonna talk
not a
about the
like
big.
he's had guards, right? Like
Uh-huh.
guards are guards, but he had
Yes.
a big for the first time that just
Two-man game
really,
was unstoppable.
yeah. That's why he won the assist title that year. It was just he
Seriously.
could run all day, and he didn't really have to kill himself on defense too because he had KCP, he had
Yeah.
Caruso, he had Rondo to come out, and Rondo might have not been what he was before as far as defense, but he was so damn smart. He knew angles, he knew how to handle team defense better. LeBron, honestly, that was his best team in my view. It wasn't
I
the
agree.
best LeBron, but that was the best team he ever had. If he had had that team in 2016, I don't think even with Durant and Golden State would have beat him.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. LeBron was out there playing with
And even if they do,
bums
let's say
between six.
they lose in 6 or 7, right? They lose
Uh-huh.
in 6 or 7 because the 17 Warriors team was damn good, right? I
Yeah.
think LeBron beats them in 18.
Oh yeah, I mean, with
Yeah,
a roster like that, I mean,
yeah.
you add in Anthony Davis, you add in, and that's not even to add like the Dwight Howards that were playing great defense, the JaVale McGee. So no, I 100% agree. That honestly, that 2020 team was literally probably one of my favorite Lakers
Mind
teams
you, I'm
ever.
saying if LeBron was LeBron in 16
Hmm.
with the AD in 2020 and Rondo, like just teleport that team to
To
16 with
2016.
LeBron's skill set in 16. Look, maybe the Warriors get out of that one in 6 or 7, but
Hmm.
I don't see them beating the Cavs in 18. I think Cavs come back and win it, and definitely obviously in 15.
Yeah,
So it could have
absolutely.
switched. What could have happened was if you started in 15, if you'd given LeBron that team, he would have won in 15 for sure, won in 16 obviously, and then Durant might have leveled the playing field a little bit. Maybe they get it done in 6 or 7, but then 18 they'd come back and win. Again, it would have flipped. The Cavs would have won 3 out of 4 instead of losing 3 out of 4. And I'm going to sound like a Laker, you know, rosy colored glasses guy, right? But I just don't, sports and team management and ownership and all that, that stuff that also plays into the tool chest of how things turn out. Kobe's career, as great as it was, and I don't think people should. I think people should give him more credence to this because of this. Okay, he had two. If you had cut Kobe at 10 years, he would have had a Hall of Fame career. If you cut the back 10, even with the last three being like really not that much, still would have been a Hall of Fame, right? The problem with Kobe and what ended up being the bane to his game his career was when he hit his powers at his peak. That was when they were rebuilding.
Yeah,
It was
100%.
at the end of the Shaq Kobe thing, and then it was rebuilt. So that basketball players, in my view, much like boxers, have a 5 year, like the all-time greats. They have a 5 year ridiculous prime squared window. It's like
Hmm.
5 years. 3 years is enough, by the way, when you do it for
Yeah.
3 years, but some can extend it to 5. Boxers, usually it's only 3 in my view. It's very few. I don't know anybody that goes 5. It's too brutal of a sport. But 5 years, and it was between 2003 and 2005. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
2003, 2008. That was Kobe's prime. He had his full, like, ammo arsenal, all of it. Problem
Had it all
was,
gone.
it was all just and then his knees start bothering him in like 2009, and then barely made it out in 2010, broken finger, and then 2011 he was toast. 2011 it was against Dallas, he was done, and the team was maxed out on behind the scenes stuff. I don't know if you know what was going on behind the scenes. I think we may have talked about it on the show, but something really bad was going on behind the scenes with the Lakers in 2011, and it ended up being their demise. And of course, Mitch Kupchak, who I feel bad for a lot, might have made the trade that was even bigger than the Gasol trade, and then it got vetoed, and then it never got better after that.
That was some bullshit. I remember that when I got vetoed. That was some bullshit. But all right, brother. Let me ask you this. We got two more here. Um, the most underrated player on this Laker team right now is
Underrated.
underrated. I got an answer if you're not ready.
I
If you
mean,
want
it's. I think
time.
it's DeAndre Ayton.
Ooh, I
I don't
like
think
that
anybody.
answer.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's really. I think.
Can I give you my answer?
Good.
Nick Smith Jr. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I know he's an end of the bench type player, but he's always ready. I love his energy, and sometimes he plays even with too much energy and he's out of control. But he's always ready. He had that big 25-point game against the Blazers. Then he got put in the doghouse because we got healthy again. And then in that span of games when he was in the doghouse, he was getting like 4 to 5 minutes a game. And then we needed him to step up. Boom, in the Raptors game, 12 points, plays aggressive. So honestly, I'll be real, your answer is definitely better because DeAndre Ayton's definitely giving us a lot more. But I was just thinking, like, I feel like Nick Smith Jr. damn near deserves some more playing time, in my opinion.
The reason why I chose DeAndre Ayton is because it's obvious that somebody coming in from off the bench and playing well. That's not me. It's not somebody that's really been rated yet. It's more of the fact that you brought in a guy who's been extremely good, and you got him for nothing, and the team is winning when there are a lot of statistics that show that they shouldn't be. The point differential is a big thing in the NBA, and the Lakers are not really good in that area. Usually, teams don't win with that kind of statistic that's not up to snuff. So, DeAndre Ayton, I think, has become kind of a security blanket, and especially down low, and it keeps teams from really, really coming up and putting pressure on Luka, putting pressure on Austin, and even LeBron to an extent. So that to me is that he's the most underrated player right now, and I'm just hoping he stays healthy and he can continue to do what he's doing.
Absolutely. I like that. Definitely like that answer. Definitely like more than my Nick Smith Jr. answer, but still shout out to Nick Smith Jr. But man, Joe, I think it's a good place for us to go ahead and wrap it up. I appreciate you for coming on the show here, man, blessing us with your knowledge, blessing us, just with just your Laker opinions, man. For everybody that's out there, I hope that you guys all subscribe to the experiment with Joe, and then also Lakers Fast Break. I'll have everything linked in the description down below. As well, always subscribe to Lakers Corner. Follow me on the social medias. But for now, Joe, I think this is a good place for us to wrap it up. Do you have any last things you want to shout out here or say before we leave?
Yeah, Luka, get your ass back to LA.
Come on, Luka.
Well, technically not LA. It's going to be what, Philly next?
Philly. Yeah, it's gonna be Philly next on Sunday.
Yeah.
He better get his ass there
Yeah,
because
get your ass there. Enough of this. I
really
gotta have
kumbaya.
my baby time while the baby doesn't give a shit about your time. Come on, man, get your ass over there. You're making $50 million a year. Get your kid, get your wife at the hotel.
Come on.
Rent a house. I don't know. Do something.
Fuck. Dude, he had there's no way he doesn't have a nanny. Like, bro,
Come
go
on,
get
man.
a fucking hotel and put your nanny and your girl in the hotel.
Yeah,
Play the game.
if this thing got out publicly, we'd get shunned by all the softies and all the women saying, "I can't believe you're saying this. You're family first, family first." I'm like, family first. I'm like, who pays the bills, man?
Real shit. This is it. Me putting the ball in the basket, pay the bill. This is what allows everybody to be here. Real shit.
Come on, man. Shit. He paid that. That's the man that's the breadwinner, man. Do your job.
Let the man work, man. Nah, I hear you. All right, man. Family, appreciate you guys staying tuned, and stay tuned for more great Lakers content. Make sure to follow Joe, follow myself, and for now, we out of here, y'all. Peace.